Good evening. Welcome to Reflect and Meditate. My name is Courtney Geibert, and I am the Pastoral Intern here at Christ Lutheran. For this session, we are going to be focusing on art, particularly Christian art. Christian art has encouraged us to reimagine and reinterpret popular stories. For example, one of my favorite stories, Jacob wrestling with God or the angel, depending on your interpretation, shows a bitter battle between Jacob and his adversary. But one day I stumbled upon Chris Cook's vision for this story. In it, he has God almost embracing Jacob. For me, it shifted my understanding of a battle or wrestling match to one more of a dance, and showing the intimacy between God and God's beloved. We've also seen how Christian art has both amazed us and also irritated us. For example, on the screen, Piss Christ. This was created in 1987 by photographer Andreas Serrendo, and it had a lot of controversy and still has a lot of controversy. So much, in fact, is that protesters destroyed the piece of art. We also have artwork that amazes us and inspires us, such as The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci from 1495 to 1498. This has captivated us for years and years and reimagined in so many different ways. For tonight, I'm going to read us the creation story from Genesis 1 through Genesis 2, verse 4. And I'm going to allow you to just relax into this story. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness God called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. And God said, "Let there be a dome in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." So God made the dome, and separated the water that were under the dome from the waters that were above the dome. And it was so. God called the dome sky. And there was evening, and there was morning the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seeds, and fruit trees of every kind of earth that bear fruit with the seeds in it." And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed of every kind, and the trees of every kind bearing fruit with the seed in it. And God saw it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be lights in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. God set them in the dome over the sky to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning the fourth day. And God said, "Let waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the dome of the sky." So God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, of every kind, with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on earth. And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, cattle and creeping things and wild animals of the earth for every kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals of the earth, the cattle of every kind, and everything that creeps upon the ground of every kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. God said, see, I have given you every plant yielding seed, and every tree with seed in its fruit, and you shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything has the breath of life. I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their multitude. And on the seventh day God finished the work that he had done. And so he rested. So God blessed the seventh day, because on it God rested from all the work that had been done in creation. These are the generations of the heaven and the earth when they were created. This story stirs up in us different images. Sometimes we're challenged by art that has put out a different sort of picture of this story. And sometimes we're surprised and filled with joy of an art that brings forth the creativity of what God created. So I will be showing you 5 works of art, each reinterpreting the creation story. For each one, I encourage you to think 2 things. 1, how does this surprise me or maybe irritate me? And 2, how do I understand this story differently? At the end of our time together, there'll be a list of all of the artwork that you're welcome to save. I hope that this time of reflection and meditation opens our eyes to see how art can change our perspective and bring to life God's story for us today. Enjoy.